Hey folks, it's Seagal once again. You may notice lighting's different because after the last part I waited a few hours, get some stuff done, eat, use the restroom, get stuff to drink. And last time we were talking about Stallone and Bruce Willis films, and I'm a little bit agitated because this is about the third time I've been recording. For some reason my webcam keeps stopping. It was working just fine before when I recorded the first 4 parts, but sometimes it is what it is, but hopefully it will work this time. Now I was talking about Steven Seagal. Well, I was going to start talking about him because I have a lot of his films, not all of his films, frankly, because by the time I get done with this fucking video, he'll have made about 5 fucking more movies. But getting into it, a lot of his early work I enjoy. Above the Law, really enjoy this film. You may think you're above the law, but you ain't above mine. You have Pam Grier, Sharon Stone, directed by Andrew Davis. Really enjoy this movie. Hard to Kill, another one I enjoy. I'll take you to the bank, Senator. The blood bank. Really enough, after a lot of these early ones are Warner Brothers movies, except this one. It was with Fox. And really enough, I remember there was talks of him being approached for Predator 2, which that had a Fox film that dealt with Jamaican drug lords. And then he does this movie with Fox, which has Jamaican drug lords. So he's like, okay, we'll do the Jamaican drug lords, but he just doesn't want the Predator. So Fox marked for death. It's like, you want to do Predator 2? Okay, we'll take the Jamaican drug lords and... So, but I enjoy this movie, Marked for Death. Dwight H. Little directed, who did Rapid Fire, Halloween 4, my favorite Seagal film, Out for Justice. Has anyone seen Richie? William Forsythe, directed by John Flynn, who did Lock Up and Bestseller, which I talked about in one of the earlier parts. My favorite Seagal film, Under Siege, great movie. Why none of these have features, I have no idea. Under Siege 2, not a bad sequel at all. I have fun with this sequel. On Deadly Ground, well, actually, let me talk about this before. Executive Decision, which is more of a Kurt Russell movie because Seagal's only in it for a little bit and then dies. It's not much of a spoiler because everyone knows about it, and if you don't, about 20-30 minutes into this 133-minute movie, you're going to find out. The movie itself is just boring. It's a chore to sit through. It's not one of... Kurt Russell's not the problem, but it's the shitty script. It's the shitty film. Even Jerry Goldsmith's music is boring. It's such a boring film. On Deadly Ground, which Steven Seagal directed, as a movie, it has a lot of problems. For example, the whole point is to stop these oil and pollution. But the funny thing is, don't they blow up the oil ship, refinery, however you want to call it, at the end of the film? Isn't that what happens at the end? Don't they blow up the whole ship? And I'm thinking, isn't there oil on there? And if it's a ship, isn't it on water? If that's the case, did the oil go into the water? Did you just pollute the fucking place? That's probably why you don't see a lot of those people blowing up oil ships in the ocean, because they probably don't get oil. I could be absolutely wrong. I'm sure someone will tell me. And you know what? Feel free to tell me. But even if that's not the case, if it is the case, it's funnier than hell. If it's not the case, you don't have a movie about stop the pollution and have it be the same movie that Seagal grabs a guy who's got a knife, stabs him in the face, turns him around, and gets re-stabbed from the other side. Just, you know, it's a weird movie for to stop the pollution. But, and the whole spirit bearer thing, and he has like a 15-minute speech about pollution at the end. But as an action film, it's an enjoyable movie. I like this movie as an action film because it has some good fisticuffs. It has that Steven Seagal brutality, like I mentioned, with the guy with the knife, and then turns around, does it again. There's the scene where he hits a guy, I think it's John C. McGinley, and he goes to a propeller, and you see like blood splatter. A lot of early Seagal stuff is very brutal. That's kind of one of the things I liked about him. But yeah, the action is handled well. Explosions, gunfights, fisticuffs. Especially the third act, which had like Billy Bob Thornton as a minor role as a guy who gets killed. I think in an explosion. And I believe Arlie Ermy as well. But, I mean, fun to watch for the action, but the rest of the stuff, not so much, to be honest. So, they have The Glimmer Man, which I really enjoy. I think it's one of his most underrated films, actually. Because not many people like this film. I know my friend Effrey doesn't like it. A lot of other people don't like it. I enjoy the film as a Steven Seagal movie. It's not as much as a buddy cop film as it's pictured here, and I think that's what turned people off. But it didn't bother me, because I thought when Tina Avery Wayans was there, it was fun. But watch it as a Steven Seagal movie, I thought it was an entertaining film. And really enjoy this movie. One of the last solid Steven Seagal films, Fire Down Below. If I stop stuttering. I like this movie, Fire Down Below. The Patriot. There's a reason why this went direct to video. High caliber action, my ass. There's barely any fucking action in this movie. Steven Seagal is a scientist who lives out in the country in Montana. There's a virus. He's trying to cure, stop the virus. Once in a blue moon, he does a little fight scene. A little bit. Once in a while, you get like a oh shit, you know, bloody bit. But that's pretty much it. I mean, not much of an action movie. There's barely any action in the film. Then sort of his return to theaters. Exit Wounds. People thought he'd have a comeback. There's a lot of these films. These later films didn't do well. Like Fire Down Below. The Patriot went direct to video. Glimmer Man didn't do well. I don't think On Daily Ground did well. But this is sort of his comeback. He actually did well. And I enjoyed this film. I had fun. I might have seen this in the theater, but I can't remember. Maybe not. I can't remember if I saw this in the theater or not. I might have. Actually. Now, the more I think about it, I think I did see this in the theater. Exit Wounds. Just like, okay, cool. Steven Seagal. I don't care for the wire foo shit, but because that's not Seagal's thing, but overall, I'm entertained by the film. Michael Jai White was in it. He was the bad guy. Bill Duke. Then his comeback stopped with this. Which I think I actually did see this in the theater as well. Because I like Exit Wounds. I'll see this in the theater. And yeah, it wasn't much to run home about. Don Michael Paul's not that strong of a director. I'm sorry. The fight scenes with Seagal. Didn't seem like there was that many fight scenes with Seagal. And then when he did, it's just, he does this, and then a guy flies like, flips 4 times. Where he just does this, and then the guy's dead. I'm like, he died from a punch? Or where the hell was, I mean, half past dead. Really enough, this guy, the bad guy, was actually a guy who's the sidekick for Seagal in Under Siege 2, Morris Chestnut. And then in this film, he's the bad guy, so I thought that was kind of interesting. But Half Past Dead, eh, Half Past Breakfast. And I know that's mean, talk about the guy, but, if you don't pass yourself as an action hero, you can't have crappy editing, up close, uptight of the camera, stunt doubles. Well, stunt doubles you have for really dangerous stuff. A lot of movies have them, but fight doubles. And if you can't even do your own fights, then something's wrong. Very wrong. Especially back in the day when they had the fights, the camera way back. See the whole thing. That's what was cool about it. This was the start of that. This was the start of that. Sort of the bullshit. I mean, you can say exit wounds, but they're just handled better. And then most of these movies go together. I mean, Ticker, remember, not a bad performance by Steven Seagal and Tom Sizemore, but I remember this being cheap, being an Albert Pion film. Nas, he's there, but he's in it for like 5 minutes. Dennis Hopper's the bad guy. I think he shot all his stuff in one day. I mean, I think there's scenes from other films in this movie. I forget which one. But yeah, not that great of a movie. And definitely a lot of these go together. Like Billy of the Beast, which you shouldn't name your movie that. It's like naming it Out to Lunch or Out for Breakfast or March for Spam or something like that. And yeah, I know I'm being rude, but someone needs to tell the guy straight out. Get over your fucking ego. Lose at least a little bit of weight if you don't continue to be an action hero. Or make it believable, like Sammo Hung. Sammo Hung is not a thin guy, but I never complain about him because he's believable. You could tell all that he's doing. He's quick, he's fast. If you like that, fine. But if that's hurting you, then fix it. But if you don't care, why the hell should we care? But I've tried. All these movies, The Foreigner, Out for a Kill, and then most of these run together. Like Out of Reach. Oh, what? The fucking donuts? Into the Sun, I remember not minding. Today You Die. This movie, I remember they stole a scene from Peter Weller's Top of the World. Literally. Submerged. I remember hearing. And this one I was curious about because it was Anthony Hitchcock's. And it was going to be a horror film, but then it turned into this bullshit with espionage. It was about like was it a virus or something like that? But then it was going to be like horror film with mutants, and it's like, what the hell happened to that? And I do blame Seagal because I remember like reading an interview with Anthony Hitchcock talking about how he was such a pain in the ass to work with. He wouldn't listen to any direction. I know Gary Daniels got pissed off at him because I think it's Gary Daniels who's in this. He's like, oh, we can have a big fight. And it's like, no, I'm just going to say, cocksucker motherfucker, hit you like 2 times, and you're going to go down, Gary Daniels. And granted, it's funny that Seagal says, cocksucker motherfucker. And once in a while, there's a decent action beat, but a lot of problems with this film. And weirdly enough, this is one of those guys that's, at least half of these movies, it's not even his fucking voice. It's dubbed. Now, I can't think of another action star that has had that so frequently. Not Dolph Lundgren, Van Damme? No, not really. Schwarzenegger? Maybe in Hercules in New York. Stallone? Never that I can think of. Van Damme? Again, none that I can think of. Dolph Lundgren? I can't think of any. I mean, Steven Seagal is like one of the only action stars that's had a lot. He's almost has more dubbing than fucking Jackie Chan. I mean, and at least Jackie Chan, a lot of times he tries to dub his own voice. But goddamn, there's gotta be something to that. Black Dawn, mostly they really meld together. Like Mercenary for Justice, Attack Force. Feel free to check out a podcast a long time ago that I did. I don't know when it was, but it was with my friends Mike and Effrey. We talked about Steven Seagal. We went through all these movies. And when we got to this, I know my friend Mike busted a gut when I tried to explain some of the shit, like a fucking virus being stopped by... To stop it, they blow up the computer with a grenade. In order to try to stop it. And the Men in Black blinking eyes, and it was like supposed to be aliens, but then it was a... Then it became an operation to create like super soldier or whatever the fuck this was. I can't remember. Shadow Man. Yeah, fucking Flight of Fury. If you're wondering why this isn't open, I had this and I sold it. And then, well, I'm collecting Seagal. I bought it again. Thankfully, it was really cheap. And again, I don't have all of his movies. Maybe one day. But again, he makes like 5 movies. Oh, wait. By the time I get done talking about these Seagal films, he's already made another movie. Urban Justice. I enjoy this film. I will admit that. Pistol Whipped with Lance Henriksen in it for a small role. Yeah. The Keeper. An all-new movie. Because most of his shit melds so much together, they have to explain, hey, it is an all-new movie. Just so you'll know. Driven to Kill. More like Driven to Diners. Against the Dark. More like Against the Fart. Seagal is barely in this fucking movie. I'm like, oh, Seagal, vampires. Cool. Mark Dacascos fought zombies in Animal Media. Very cheap, low-budget movie, but have fun. Hell, he beats the shit out of zombies with nunchucks. Dolph Lundgren battled zombies in Battle of the Damned. Again, very cheap film, but I had fun. Dolph Lundgren fucks up zombies. Seagal is barely in this movie. He is barely in this fucking film. And it's supposed to be vampires, but, man, barely tell. Kill Switch. This is one that has a funny edit. If you look up on YouTube, Kill Switch Steven Seagal. Seagal kicks a guy out the window, and he literally falls out the window at least 10 times. Literally. Like, he falls, and then by the time the body gets to the ground, he falls out the window again. Like, that's how stupid the edit is. And it is not fake. The person did not fuck with it. That's how it is in the movie. And it's just some really stupid shit. A Dangerous Man. Maximum Conviction, which he did with Steve Austin. I remember Steve Austin being pretty decent in this. I think I have one more. Born to Raise Hell. But that's all the Seagal films I have. I'm sure he made a tons more. Hey, if anyone wants to send me to them, send me to them. Hey, if anyone wants to send me them, I'll do a Seagal marathon. Whatever's, I don't even know how many are left in that, but yeah. Not anytime soon. I won't pick them up anytime soon. Hey, if anyone wants to send me them, I'll do a Seagal marathon. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. Seagal, a lot of his stuff is just, what the fuck? What the fuck type of thing, you know? He just doesn't care. But get into that. The next thing is Kevin Smith. If you're wondering why I'm looking over there, there's a few Kevin Smith Blu-rays. Clerks, which has some extra stuff on it. Chasing Amy, which has some extra stuff on it. Cop Out, which I got a long time ago. And that film didn't hold up well, to be honest. I'll show that in the Blu-ray section. But Clerks the Anime series, which I have fun with, has some good features, good commentary. I think it was on ABC, and it only lasted one season, and really only a couple episodes, and they got fucked with royally by ABC. Mallrats, the 10th Anniversary, Extended Edition, which I enjoy this movie. And if you wonder what I was doing, my webcam stopped once again. I don't know why it's doing this. But I'm going to try to link up the first 20 minutes that I did and try to link it up, and I waited 5 seconds, so hopefully I'm still in sync, because when I linked it up, hopefully it doesn't make stuff out of sync. I hope not, but we will see. I don't know why it's doing this, but as I was saying, I was talking about the Kevin Smith films in my collection. Of course, the cartoon, 10th Anniversary of Mallrats, the Criterion Collection of Chasing Amy, which has features that are not on the Blu-ray. I guess Criterion wouldn't let them, including a commentary with Kevin Smith, Scott Mosier, Ben Affleck, Jason Mewes, social producer Robert Hawke, Miramax executive John Gordon, and View Askew historian Vincent Pereira. 10 deleted scenes, and what's nice is each of those have a video introduction from the cast and crew, like Ben Affleck, Jason Mewes, Kevin Smith, so forth. So, nice DVD to have, since, again, the stuff isn't on the Blu-ray. Drawing Flies, which Kevin Smith only produced this. His buddies Malcolm Ingram and Matt Gissing directed this. Has Jason Lee, Jason Mewes, Renee Humphrey, Carmen Lee. And black and white movie. Interesting type of flick. Has a commentary with Jason Lee, Kevin Smith, Scott Mosier, with the directors of the film, Jason Mewes. Pretty weird film. Take a while to explain, but I'm trying to get through this fast. Vulgar, which I'm not a fan of the movie, but I have this. Kevin Smith produced this. I like the features, that's why. First off, it has a fun commentary with Kevin Smith, again, who produced this. Brian Johnson, who directed this. Brian O'Halloran, who starred in it. Of course, the star of Clerks and Clerks 2. And it also has a documentary on Dogma, weirdly enough, called Judge Not in Defense of Dogma, which is not on the Blu-ray or DVD. Not on the DVD I have. It's only on this DVD. A documentary on Dogma. I don't know if they were not allowed to put it on the DVD, or they didn't have time. They might explain it at the beginning of the film through text, but I forgot. But yeah, a documentary on Dogma, which is pretty cool. So that's why I have that. We have the Dogma Special Edition, 2-disc, shitload of, again, a fun commentary, 100 minutes worth of deleted scenes, quite a few features. Pretty long film, I will admit. It's a pretty lengthy movie. I think a lot would say too long, but I enjoy this movie. I like the flick. Another fun movie, Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, which is a 2-disc. Out of all the commentaries they've done, this is the weakest one from Kevin Smith. At least one of the weakest. Not that fun. The other commentaries were a lot of fun. This really isn't. But it has a lot of other fun features, quite a few deleted scenes, music videos, just packed with a lot of stuff. Jersey Girl. This film is a time waster at best, but the features are fantastic. The commentaries are gold. They're better than the movie. Kevin Smith and Ben Affleck are together on a commentary. It's a load of fun, hilarious commentary. Also, There's a comedy with Kevin Smith, Star Mosier, and Jason Mewes. A lot of fun. They joke about if they could do a remake, they were remake this as a horror film, and they do all this. Like again, it's a lot of fun. Plus, a very fun interview with Kevin Smith and Ben Affleck as they talk shop and talk about working together from Mallrats to Jersey Girl. A lot of fun. And then get to the rest. Clerks 2, fun movie, great DVD. Zack and Miri Make a Porno, or as it's called, Zack and Miri. Got this for the collection. Has a documentary on the film, which is pretty decent. No commentary, which I know Kevin Smith was really bummed that this film flopped, because I think a lot of people were saying, because Seth Rogen was in it, it's going to be such a big hit, big box office hit. It's finally going to be the film that really propels him to the next phase of his career. It didn't do that well. Definitely not as well as they thought. And he was depressed. He smoked a lot of weed. And really, it's because of this film he became such a weed smoker. And plus, even before the film, Seth Rogen was talking about weed. And then, in a way, you say Seth Rogen got Kevin Smith hooked on weed. Really enough. Red States, I only picked this up because I didn't remember the film, and I realized watching it, I blocked out my memory because it's a piece of shit. It has a lot of features, but this is a piece of shit movie. I don't know what Quentin Tarantino is smoking. If you love the film, fine. I think this is a doggone, goddamn piece of shit. You have three assholes that want to get laid. They're unlikable. They get held hostage. You hear like 30-minute speeches, sermons from Michael Parks, who's a crazy pastor. And then the ATF, led by John Goodman, are outside of the house. You have this long, long, long gunfight, which is unexciting, not thrilling, not scary, not suspenseful, because Kevin Smith doesn't know how to do that kind of stuff. He's more in a comedy. It's like Woody Allen trying to make a horror movie. And then the kids die. The ATF agents don't really give a fuck if they die. And then this ending where it's just John Goodman just explaining shit to a couple guys, and the pastor's in the loony bin, in the jail. That's it. And I'm never getting Tusk. Someone would have to send. Don't even bother sending that. That's a piece of shit movie. I ranted on why I thought it was a piece of shit. New one with Kevin Smith. I enjoy this one. You have the sequel, Evening Harder, and then the third one, The Three Evening with Kevin Smith. I think there's another one. I don't know if it's on DVD though. Maybe one day pick it up. I don't know. But also, this is another one. Jay and Silent Bob do Degrassi. Kevin Smith was a fan of Degrassi. Let alone Degrassi: The Next Generation. It's a TV show, I think, in Canada. He was able to do a couple episodes. So it's those episodes, plus him and Jason Mewes and some others do commentary. So, why not? Now get into horror films. First, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre films. You have the first one. Love the way this looks. Love the color. Has the Shocking Truth documentary, commentaries, Flesh Wounds documentary, a lot of features, great presentation. Dark Sky Films did a great job with this. I know there's a newer one, but I don't care. I'm fine with this. Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 has 2 commentary tracks, has a good lengthy documentary. I know Scream Factory actually got the rights to release this on Blu-ray in a collector's edition. Although I don't know what else you could do with it, to be honest. Better cover, but I don't know. Leatherface, Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3, which has a good documentary about the drama behind the film. This is a piece of shit movie. I know you're wondering, why do I have it? Honestly, it was dirt cheap. It's for the collection. And also, if I find it really dirt cheap, like $1 or $2, I wouldn't mind picking up to complete the collection. Like if I do a marathon, I'll just go through all of them. And I like Matthew McConaughey in the film, and I thought Renee Zellweger was decent. But Leatherface is, and there's a lot. I did a rant on this where I spilled my fucking soda. Just feel free to watch that. The remake, which I enjoy. I saw this in the theater. I like the remake. I like the film. I don't mind the remake. There's a lot worse. I like it. Then to complete the collection, The Beginning, which this is still a piece of shit. Come on, don't fuck with me. And the reason I got this Texas Chainsaw 3 Dicks, it was about 3 cents, maybe 5 cents. Now, if you're wondering why I paid 5 cents or 3 cents for this, it's because not for the commentary with Tobe Hooper and the producer of this film, but there's a commentary with Marilyn Burns, Gunnar Hansen, and Bill Moseley. There might be one more person on there as well. And I was curious about that because they're not in the film that much. And lo and behold, they don't talk about this film that much. They talk more about the original film. And it says Marilyn Burns is no longer with us. And I was really curious about that. So that was worth the 5 cents I paid for this. Because the movie certainly ain't worth it. Of course, move on. The Batman films, anthology. From, of course, the 2-disc of Batman. Batman Returns. Batman Forever. And Buttman and Throbbing. I did reviews for these films, so I share my thoughts on those. Get this. Ah, come on. Set that I got for my birthday a long time ago from my mom, actually. Which it was cool because this had the director's cut of Daredevil, which I really enjoy. Really enjoy this. I think it's underrated. Especially this cut. That also has X-Men 1, X-Men 2, X-Men 3. Fuck the rest, honestly. Couple episodes of this Fantastic Four cartoon. Elektra, which is a piece of shit. Fantastic Four. And of course this was sent to me, Fantastic Four. And Rise of the Silver Surfer, which I reviewed those not that long ago. Actually, if I do this, let's help out more. There we go. And then I can do this. Now we get into Friday the 13th. And I must apologize. I need to get a drink of water. First off is the DVD box set from back in the day. From Crystal Lake to Manhattan. Now, I know there's a Blu-ray set of these, but it's just way too expensive for me. It's way too expensive. I can't afford the Blu-ray set of this. So, I'll stick with this. And a few other stuff I have. So this is when they had these films, two per disc. So the first two, if you're wondering what it looked like, is exactly 2 films on 1 disc. It showed how much Paramount gave a fuck about these, or whoever the hell. Yeah, Paramount, Paraprix 3 and 4. Which actually, this part 3 on this set is the only way you can find the commentary with the cast and crew. Like the guy who played Jason, and Larry Zerner who played Shelley, and the lead girl, and the guy who gets his eye popped out at the end. They're all together on a commentary track in the same room. And it's not on anything else. Blu-rays or DVD-wise, it's on just this. And that's one of the reasons why I keep this set. Same with 4 and 5. This has a commentary with Tom McLaughlin by himself, which is a different commentary than on the newer stuff. Part 7 and 8, which this has a commentary with Kane Hodder and John Carl Beakley in the same room, which unfortunately I don't have the newer DVD, which has Long Part linked on the commentary. Unfortunately I don't have that. I would like to have it, but because Part 7 is one of my favorites. But yeah, Part 7, The New Blood, has those two, and then Part 8 has a commentary with Rob Heaton, which, if you give a shit, his commentary is not on any of the later stuff either, as far as I know. Plus it has his bonus disc with all this stuff on there. Which has the Friday the 13th Chronicles, which they interview some of the folks like Sean S. Cunningham, Adrian King, Betsy Palmer, Amy Steele, Corey Feldman, Kane Hodder, Tom Savini, rare and never before seen footage, drawings, and still photographs. This is where you first saw some of the cut stuff from the first movie and the 7th movie. And some cut stuff from 4, but it's not gore, it's just some deleted scenes. More sort of extended interviews. That's what Crystal Lake Victims Tell All, just some extended interviews with some of the cast members. Well, Secrets Galore Behind the Door, it's them talking about it, the gore. It's not that long of it. And Tales from the Cutting Room is where you see some of the deleted footage. I think this is the one where you see the Part 7 footage and it has John Carl Beakley and Kane Hodder talking as they're watching it. And it wasn't, I think, till the later ones where you just see that separately without their commentary. Artifacts and Collectibles, pretty much Tom McLaughlin showing the coffin tombstone that he has from Part 6. Rob Heaton shows the guitar from Part 8. Some other stuff. Then, this is so weird. They have this thing, which you can't see, called Scary Trailers. Now, what this says, Visual Effects producer Dan Curry, veteran voiceover talent Don LaFontaine, and others discuss the making of the Friday the 13th movie trailers. Well, it's not fucking on here, and it's nowhere. Where the fuck did it go? Was it made and never released? Or was it never made and they just put this shit on there for stupidity's sake? But yeah, there's some stuff like the bonus disc and some commentaries. And then I have some of the separate ones. As you can see, I don't have all of them. I don't have the first 3. I would like to get them, but I don't know, I just couldn't find them around here. One day I'll have to pick them up online. I know the third one has no features. It's just a 3D version, which I'd be curious about to check out to see if it works. Part 2 has no features, I think, on Part 2. It's mainly just, I think, more stuff on the first movie. I would not mind picking them up because I have these. But I have Part 4. which the best thing is the counter with Joe Green and Adam Green and Joe Lynch, not Joe Green. Mean Joe Green is there goes the counter by Mean Joe Green. He's got his Coca-Cola, and he's going to talk about Friday the 13th. Adam Green and Joe Lynch, and there's other features as well. Then part 5, which has another these stupid things though. They have Lost Tales from Camp Blood, which is stupid shit. And then you have the Crystal Lake Massacres Revisit Part 1, which is still stupid Stitch shit. I mean, not needed. Lost Tales from Camp Blood Part 5, the Crystal Lake Massacres Revisited Part 2. No one gives a fuck, no one gave a fuck, no one liked them. You could have used that space for good shit. But this does have a commentary with director co-creator Danny Steinman and 2 of his actors. I think the guy who played, was it Reggie? And the lead guy who played Tommy. And then a little making of Part 6, which has a little making of, and the counter with Tom McLaughlin and like the guy who played the sheriff and some others. And Part 8, which has a counter I liked with Scott Reeves, Jensen Daddy, and Kane Hodder. Maybe because they seem like cool people, like nice people. But I would like to, I definitely want to get Part 7, because it's one of my favorites, but just couldn't find it. Couldn't find it. I mean around here. But I'll just have to order it. Jason Goes to Hell, which I think on the Blu-ray set, the unrated version is not on there. It's just the R-rated cut, which I don't get. And I don't think the commentary is on there, because the commentary was over the unrated cut. Very fun commentary with Adam Marcus and screenwriter Dean Lorey. And I love this film. It was the first one I saw. I love this movie. I think it's entertaining. It's gory. It's at times funny. I think John D. LeMay did a great job as the lead, as did, I always forget his name, Stephen Williams, you know, the breaking fingers scene, and that was a very entertaining film. I also enjoy this film, Jason X, which has I like the commentary with Jim Isaac and Todd Farmer, because they joke, and Jim Isaac is no longer with us, unfortunately, and he jokes around with Todd Farmer. Once in a while, Noel Cunningham gets in there, and he's by himself. He's kind of boring. But when Jim Isaac and Todd Farmer, they kind of goof with each other in subtle ways, but it's done in good nature. It's a very fun commentary. And then some good featurettes. One that includes Joe Bob Briggs on it. Then Freddy vs. Jason, which is a 2-disc. Quite a few features. And Friday the 13th, the Killer Cut. I don't know. I guess the original cut is nowhere to be found. At least I don't know it, because all I see is the Killer Cut. And there is barely any features, which... The Texas Chainsaw Massacre remake got a lot of features. Why not Friday the 13th? I don't understand that. I think it made just as much money as Texas Chainsaw, the remake. But that gets a shitty prequel and a fucking special edition DVD by Friday the 13th. It's not that hard to make a fucking sequel either. It's just Jason killing people. How hard is that? You can make it for like... Hell, make it for $10 million. Or hell, you know what? Make it for $20 million. And you'll get that in the opening fucking weekend. I guarantee you'll get $20 million in the opening weekend for a Friday the 13th movie nowadays. At least in especially worldwide. Anyway, and my Dirty Harry sets, which I reviewed the Dirty Harry films. I reviewed the Friday the 13th and Texas Chainsaw Massacre movies as well, so feel free to check them out. This is always a cool set. It has a 2-disc of the first film and Magnum Force. And each of these have features on them. Then this has the other 3, the Enforcer, Sudden Impact, and the Deadpool. And this had a book with it, which pretty much went through each film, showing photographs with each film. That was his partner in The Enforcer, or why am I drawing a blank on this one? God. Sudden Impact. Did I say that? I hope I did. I probably fucked up. Or like the Perp and the Deadpool and pretty cool stuff. And you have this thing, which again has some cool stuff. I'm not gonna take it all out, but some useless stuff. I mean, the map of the Scorpio sniper killings in the first movie. The fuck does anyone want to do with that, to be honest? A DVD, which is a little documentary on Clint Eastwood. Some cards showing like the posters, theatrical posters, and some little letters and things of that nature. And on top of that, a badge, which I thought was kind of cute. And I enjoy the Dirty Harry films. I enjoy all of them. But yeah, the reviews of these are up. And then a series that, as a series, it gets maligned. Everyone loves the first one, and it is the best one, but I love the whole thing, and that is the Matrix set. Now, I would like to get the Blu-ray set of this one day, but as I've said many times, there's shitloads that I want to get. Money, time, and money is just all it is. But that's the thing with a collection, you're never done, so maybe that's the fun of it. But the Matrix films, this set, I love all the Matrix films. You have a little book. Each movie has a 2-disc. And each movie, weirdly enough, has 2 commentaries. One is with critics, which really bash the next 2 films. They don't they don't love the films. The first one, yeah, but the sequels, no. So I thought it was interesting. Like, the directors allowed critics to complain about it, but then they also allowed philosophers who were fans of it. So it's like you got both sides of the coin. So I thought that was an interesting way of doing it. But instead of the philosophers, I would have preferred actual fans. Like, I would have done it. Or, have actual fans who are passionate explain why they love the films. But then you also have a documentary like This is Matrix Revisited. And I love these movies. I saw all of them in the theater. Matrix Reloaded, I saw twice in the theater. Really enjoy it. My only problem is it gets a bit too talky, especially with the Kentucky Fried Chicken looking guy. But other than that, I really enjoyed the film. I enjoyed what it tried to do. It's really trying to be a live-action anime. That's what the story is. I mean, and there's some anime I like. Akira, for example, Ninja Scroll. It's totally trying to be an anime. Just the way the plot's done and the way the trilogy ends, I'm like, that's straight out of an anime. And I saw this in the theater. I enjoyed it. Thought it had an epic fight at the end in the rain. I liked it a lot more than Man of Steel. The fight in this is better than the fight in Man of Steel. I'm sorry. I'm not taking it back. The Animatrix, I enjoy this as well. I think it's some pretty cool stuff. But and then this is pretty much a bunch of bonus feature DVDs. They probe the historical, philosophical, and technological inspirations of the Matrix trilogy. The other is profiles the society of craftspeople, actors, and filmmakers who devoted years of their lives to the movie trilogy and they enter the Matrix console game. and the Zion archive, like music videos, TV spots, trailers, and so forth. Yeah, I enjoy the Matrix trilogy. Definitely one of my favorite trilogies. I mean, Back to the Future's up there. The original Star Wars is there. You know, I like it. To be honest, I'm probably more of a Matrix fan than Star Wars fan. Just being honest. And I like Star Wars. The original versions. But, anyway. Next up, some John Carpenter stuff. Oh, I talked about Friday the 13th. I should have mentioned this. Online, I was able to find a link to someone took the movie and they edited in the deleted gore sequences from, I guess, a word print or the deleted stuff. So it's kind of a mishmash of the movie, DVD version of the movie, with the deleted stuff cut back in. And then, yeah, that stuff is in rough form, but it's cool to watch. Pretty cool to watch in that way, in my opinion. And, let's see, I'll get to, what's this? Oh, why is this doing here? This is actually double-sided Poltergeist 2 and 3. Guess I forgot to put that somewhere. Okay, and that's supposed to go right there. I'll get to that. By John Carpenter. There is Psalm Priest of 13, which this was sent to me, which actually has a disc 2, which has an hour-long John Carpenter documentary. I would love to pick up the collector's edition of Asylum Priest of 13 from Stream Factory because I love the film and want to see how it looks on Blu-ray. But I didn't one day. That's why I put on my Amazon wish list, so I can remember and save up. Escape from New York, 2-disc, which I don't know about the Blu-ray. Yeah, if I had the money, I would pick it up, but for now, I'm fine with the DVD for now. Because it has quite a few features and love the way it looks. And Escape from LA, which is, I saw this years and years and years before Escape from New York. In fact, when I first saw this, I didn't know it was a sequel. So I enjoy Escape from LA. The Thing, my nose is itching, sorry. I have the Blu-ray of this, great picture quality, but it does not have the full 80-minute documentary to rotate shape intact. It's like bits and pieces of it. I don't know why they did that. I guess rights issues, even though it's the same studio. So I don't get that. It has all this other stuff, like outtakes from the film, behind the scenes photographs, which I don't know if that's even on the Blu-ray either, so I keep this DVD for that. Starman DVD that I believe this was sent to me. I remember being like, wow, that's really cool, because I was wanting this, because I heard that, oh my god, there's a DVD overseas of this movie with a counter with John Carpenter and Jeff Bridges. It has like a little music video, a little making of from back in the day. I really enjoy Starman. Why this doesn't get some love in the... I have to think Stream Factory one day will do this. Maybe not because it's Columbia Pictures or where the fuck did it, but yeah, maybe one day. And then Christine, which I enjoy that movie as well. Bicholo China, 2-disc, which I know there's a Blu-ray overseas with more features, but I don't have a region-free Blu-ray player. They Live, which I was disappointed with Stream Factory because there was no new interview with Roddy Piper. I mean, the commentary is cool, they carried it over, but it was from in the time where there was Laserdisc around. So, and they shoved on Roddy Piper a brand new interview. I would love to hear the explanation as to why they didn't. Was he too busy? He could have waited. I would rather wait and have, a final interview with Roddy Piper on They Live. I know you can find it on YouTube, so you can have that. But still, I mean, official. And The Mouth of Madness, which deserves much better treatment. I think this is a very underrated movie. One of John Carpenter's most underrated films. It deserves a good treatment. There's really nothing on here but a very boring commentary of John Carpenter and his cinematographer. That's it. And I think the trailer deserves a lot more. Village of the Damned, which I think Carpenter did this just to finish his contract. He didn't really have much passion for the film, and it kind of shows, but I don't hate this film. Actually, I do like the film. I do like the film. Just want to say passion is just... I like the film, but just it's not as memorable as Christine, The Thing, Steve New York, The Solemn Piece of 13. There's just something missing about it. I don't know if it's passion. It's something. But I thought Christopher Reeve did a good job. Nice to see Mark Hamill, Linda Kozlowski from Crocodile Dundee, Michael Pare. I like the music. Trying to see, yeah, John Carpenter and Dave Davies did the music, but I still like the film. Very fun movie. Vampires. James Woods did a great job in the role. And then Ghosts of Mars, which I know a lot of people hate and do not like at all. I like the film. It's not perfect. I like... Ice Cube does fine, but Jason Statham apparently was going to be the lead, and the studio said, well, he's not a name. Bring in Ice Cube. Of course, nowadays they would change their mind, but back then Jason Statham was not a big name, so he got put into a supporting role. But I would really have loved to have Jason Statham as starred in this. And there's some weird stuff. I mean, they can't kill them. If they kill them, they get released, but they keep shooting the fucking things. It's like, hey, if you guys know that if you kill them, you release the ghosts, and they keep shooting them. It's like, don't shoot them or something, or find a plan to knock them out and tie them up or something. But still, Natasha Henstridge is cool. It's fun sense of humor. I still have fun. The movie is not that bad like people make it out to be. In my opinion, that is. And actually, I'll end it there because I gotta merge these two together. So stay tuned for part 6 later.